So I was looking for a horror movie to kind of cleanse my palate of that pile of shit that is Train to Busan 2, Peninsula. And I thought, okay, let's jump over to Netflix. I mean, Halloween's coming. They must be loading it up, you know, with horror movies and stuff, getting ready for Halloween. And I came across this movie. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. So I'm a huge fan of zombie movies. I know I rag on them a lot, saying, you know, there's nowhere you can go with them anymore. And really, in my opinion, there's not. I mean, there's literally tens of thousands of zombie movies, and it's all been done. I mean, it really has been. But there's certain things about movies that can make them better than you know, most others, and that makes them watchable and enjoyable. And when I sat down to watch Peninsula, or Train to Busan 2, I expected something great, especially with how good that movie was, and it was just turned out to be a pile of shit. It really is. But I don't want to talk about that movie. Tonight we're going to talk about #Alive, which is another Korean zombie movie. And I'm not going to lie to you, I saw the trailer for this movie probably a year ago, and I thought it looked pretty good. It resembled a few other movies that I have seen. Or, you know, most notably, there's two movies. There are one movie and then a book. The first one is Kondo Tatsumi, which is right out of Max Brooks' World War Z. I mean, this is almost exactly the same. In fact, I don't know, like I did research on this, and there's nothing saying that they used that inspiration to make this movie. But I mean, you've got a YouTube gamer in there, the same as Max Brooks' story, and there's also even the zip line to get food back and forth to each other. It's pretty close. So they've taken inspiration from that book, and then also the French zombie movie, The Night Eats the World. Highly recommend that movie. That one is a little more serious though. It's a fantastic movie, and again, it's about a guy pretty much trapped in his apartment while there's a zombie outbreak going on. But definitely check that movie out. But that's what this movie is. It's basically about this kid. His name is June. He's a YouTube gamer, and he wakes up one morning. His parents have gone out, and he wakes up to a zombie outbreak, pretty much. So, I mean, the first act of this movie. Well, I'll read the synopsis first. The rapid spread of an unknown infection has left an entire city in ungoverned chaos, but one survivor remains alive in isolation. This is his story. Okay, so that's what I was getting to, is like he wakes up, you know, kind of groggy, hears some commotion outside, opens the screen doors there to the balcony, looks out, and I mean, there's people killing each other and fire trucks driving into cars and all sorts of chaos. And then he goes on the news, and they're, you know, it's all just happening, you know, within the first couple hours here. So the news is not sure what's going on, but they're saying people are acting, you know, violently and cannibalistic and stuff like that. And that's kind of what the first act is. It's just him trying to figure out what's going on, realizing that he can't go outside. You know, he's got to barricade himself in. He can't get contact with anyone because the cell signal, again, is for some reason, I don't know how that's been affected because it's satellite, but it's somehow the cell phone signal is almost gone. So, I mean, he just bides his time really in the first act. And, you know, we jump ahead, you know, it's like, I think it's day 4, you know, day 10, day 15, whatever. And, you know, each time lapse or whatever, or not time lapse, but jump ahead, you know, there's less food, and then eventually he has no food, you know, and he's starting to go hungry, he's starting to go a little stir crazy, and then he goes a lot stir crazy. And, you know, we come right to the end of the first act, and he's going to hang himself. I don't want to give too many spoilers for this movie, and that's when we're introduced to the lady who lives across the way in the other apartment complex, Kim, who kind of saves him actually by shooting one of those laser pointers at him while he's hanging himself, and it's kind of silly, but I mean, they have pictures on the wall there, and she points at different words on these pictures telling him not to kill himself and calling him a moron using all these words in these pictures. But you'll understand when you watch it. So, but anyways, did I like this movie? I did. Okay, I didn't love it. I'll probably never watch it again. But the entire time I watched it, I was thinking, okay, this is Night Eats the World, and it's the Max Brooks right from the fucking story, Kondo Tatsumi, and I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. They've changed it a little bit, you know what I mean? But this movie never, like, there's serious tones in it, but I mean, even when he's hanging himself, I mean, it almost has this silliness about it, but it's not like a bad silly. It's just, what I'm saying is the movie doesn't really take itself seriously at any point, and that really helps because when you get movies like this and they try and be too preachy and take themselves too seriously, it doesn't work in a lot of cases. Yeah, again, this goes back to me saying that, I mean, there's nothing new you can do in a zombie flick really anymore. It's all been done. So, I mean, make it in, we've got this silly character who's kind of goofy and awkward, and, it just works. You're a little more involved in it. The one thing there's a few things that I didn't like about this movie, though. The first thing is you have to accept a lot of stupid. Like with every horror movie, or almost every horror movie, and you can argue with me if you want, there's this portion of, actually for any movie really, but a lot in horror, there's always this portion where we have to accept a certain amount of stupid, okay? And by that I mean horror movies in general. Dark basement, we're not supposed to go in it, but we go in it anyways. Scary forest, we hear noises, we're not supposed to go in the scary forest, but we go in there anyways. It's just fucking stupid. Common sense would say don't do it, but if the characters don't do it, then we don't have a movie, right? So we have to accept some stupid, and there's a lot of it in this movie, so that you have to accept. The one thing that I just shook my head at, I thought, oh fuck, please don't have any more of this. There's a scene, I think it's somewhere in the middle of the second act, but there's a zombie, a fireman, and I don't want to get into it too much, but he climbs up the side of this building, literally on this piece of fucking wire, okay? I mean, I don't know. First of all, I don't know where he all of a sudden got this superhuman strength to be able to carry himself up with this wire. But zombie or not, I mean, this wire would cut through his hands. Like it's just kind of things like that are so kind of. I mean, it's a zombie movie, so it's unrealistic. But as long as you can accept that kind of a stupid, and and then how these zombies are supposed to be these brain dead, things in one scene, and then all of a sudden they can figure out how to get to the proper floor where our characters are. It's like, what? You know what I mean? But again, if we don't have this in the movie, then, I mean, we pretty much have like a lackluster movie then, right? We just have a guy hanging out in his apartment, eventually meets a girl across the way, and they talk, and that's it. Until the fucking, if they get saved or not, and that's it. So you have to throw in these action sequences to kind of keep it going. And there's a few jump scares, nothing that really got me. I'm not a big fan of jump scares. But there's some good scenes, you know what I mean? But if you're kind of, looking for a good zombie flick, I would say watch this movie. I mean, it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. So really, if you have Netflix, you're paying next to nothing for movies, really. Because what's Netflix now? I think it's like $13 a month or something. So you're paying like 30 cents to watch this fucking movie. So give it a go. It's an hour. I think it's just over an hour and a half. The other thing I didn't like too, I don't like overdubbing. Okay, the overdubbing in this movie actually wasn't too bad. I've seen some Russian movies with overdubbing and it's been fucking terrible. It's actually turned a serious horror movie into a comedy because the overdubbing was so fucking retarded. But they actually did a great job with the overdubbing in this movie. So, because as soon as it starts, and as soon as the first words are spoken and you can tell it's overdubbing, I thought, oh fuck, here we go. It's going to be terrible just for that fact alone. But it's not. They did a really good job of the overdubbing. Although I still would have rather watched subtitles with their actual language. But, if you can do a half-assed job like this, then I'll accept that. So, but yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot of gore in this movie. The zombies are all bloodied up and they look fucking killer. I'll tell you, man, those Korean zombies, even in Peninsula and Train to Busan and other ones, I mean, they know how to do fucking zombies. Yeah, the zombies look really cool. The movements they do are not like computerized. It's all like real people and shit. So that part I liked as well. So, but there just didn't seem to be a lot of gore in this movie, especially in the initial opening when the outbreak's occurring. But it is what it is. I mean, the story's focused more on June and Kim and how they kind of interact when they meet, and you know how they get food to each other and stuff like that. Same as the Max Brooks book, and you know, for the lesser part, Night Eats the World. So anyways, I'm recommending this. To give it a rating, probably give it a 6.5. Again, it's on Netflix, so you're literally paying pennies on the dollar to watch this fucking movie. So give her a go. If you've seen it, I think it's been out for like a week or so. So if you have seen it, let me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't, jump over to Netflix, give it a watch. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And then come back here and let me know what you think, guys. And as always, until next time, stay scared.